home.
All right, now ready.
All right, we're
Aliens on the
live.
border.
The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found.
Faster than light, spaceship of the future.
By direction of the President of the United States, stay in your home.
Is it human or inhuman? Earthly or unearthly?
Born in that swirling inferno of radioactive dust, there is no word to describe them.
We may be witnesses to a biblical prophecy come true.
Why is it that we usually ignore the fourth dimension?
Is this the human race of the future?
Aliens on the border.
What's going on, America? How you doing?
America?
Yeah, dude.
Just all of America.
Just all of America.
Again,
I'm
dude?
sorry, I forget. I don't
It's
usually
the, like,
have it.
third episode
Yeah,
in a
yeah.
row
I don't
that
usually
shit.
have it like set up that way. I'm sorry. I'm gonna fucking not do that. Anyways, what's going on, people? Welcome back to Aliens on the Border.
It's episode 84.
Yeah, 84. Yeah, and Roger and myself, as always, at the helm of this motherfucker. And today with us is Monserat Guajardo.
It's Monserat Guajardo, a local, I would venture to say artist. Would you consider yourself artist, photographer, artist?
Photardist.
Photardist. I like that one.
A fartist. That's great.
I don't know. I like artists. I don't. Yeah.
Cool. We'll get into that like topic of it a little bit because there's a lot that I have to say. But okay. So just a little like quick introduction of yourself, if you will.
Sure. Well, yeah. My name is Monserat. I'm 20. I'm from Mexico, but I lived here most of my life.
Dope.
I really don't know how to introduce myself, but I do yoga. I like to read, and I do photos. I don't consider myself a photographer, even though like I do it professionally too. But yeah, I don't know. It's just a craft.
Your photos are currently up at Cultura, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I currently have my exhibition up until the 15th of April, and that's the first show that I've done ever, and it went pretty well. And I was like so nervous for it, but it was really nice.
How did you come about like setting up there? How did that work out?
Well, I had been wanting to do an exhibit for a long time.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, actually, the idea for a show came up because of Mauro's gallery. Right. So I started seeing art there, and I met I can't remember his first name, but Hernandez, because that's what he has on his Instagram.
Hector.
Hector. Yeah. He's done photography. He does photography, and he was
good stuff.
Yeah,
too,
yeah.
Man. He had the year. That was the one at the Digital Witness one,
exactly.
Right? So that
Digital
was at Musa. I went
Sounds
to
like
that
a bad
one.
'90s rap group.
Hector, it's a badass name too, man. Hector was Hector's a photographer from Austin.
Yeah.
Actually, he's from here, but he currently works out of Austin. And if there's like, whenever I mention this show to somebody, people will always like point out there's a picture of a girl that has just like a really vibrant red sheet, like blowing in the wind almost. It looks like they captured in motion, and that's you, right?
Well, that's one of them. Yeah. One of the photos I do come out. He has,
Right.
I think, like specific model for that. But
okay.
yeah, one time he wanted to do a shoot here in Laredo, and so he just messaged me, and that worked out.
So he has he's got a really like a so anyways, I'm not gonna talk more about
Yeah,
it.
man.
I want to have him on the podcast.
Yeah, that'd be
Dope.
really
If he's ever
cool.
in town, holla at me.
Yeah.
Right. So continue. You went to the Musa exhibit,
Yeah.
and then
That was the first photo exhibit that I've ever gone to in Laredo, and I was like so surprised that something like that was happening here because I've never seen something like that. I never knew of people that did that kind of photography here, like apart from just normal like lifestyle photos or something like that for clients. Like I never seen abstract or creative photography in that way. So I got really inspired in like seeing photos in print versus like just on a screen, right? And so that's like the first reason like why I wanted to do an exhibit, really like selfishly as well, because I didn't really care like people seeing it, but well, I mean I did, but at the beginning I was just so interested in seeing the texture of my work and like just in print, a physical object. And yeah, I mean that's how I got the idea of doing an exhibit, and then I was looking for galleries, and I know Mauro had like offered to like do the exhibit there.
Yeah.
I think we never I never communicated to him like, oh, like these are the photos that I got ready for you. And which is my bad. I mean, I wish I would love to have the exhibit there too. But I just really like the open space of Cultura upstairs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? It was really big, and I had a lot of pieces. Yeah, it's really nice. I had a lot of pieces that I wanted to show, so I thought like maybe that would be a little better option because there's so much space. Yeah. And then I just contacted them, and they're like, "Yeah, cool, let's do it."
I went to your opening. That was the 15th, right? So it's gonna be up for a month. It'll be up there, and anybody like tuning in, y'all should go check that out. So again, like on the upstairs, it's on the at the upstairs of Cultura. Her work is on the walls, and there's little pedestals that have little I would say not necessarily plaques, but what they're meant to be like
little
descriptions and like
and
flavor text on it, like talking about.
Yeah.
I guess a little like inspiration behind the photo.
Exactly.
Have you seen any of this stuff? Dude?
Yeah, man, I was at the fucking comedy show.
That's
So
right.
it was already
Yeah,
on
the
there.
comedy
yeah.
show. There was
Where
a
I got
comedy
there
show,
for the last
and
fucking
the
work.
stuff was still up.
How was that? Like looking at it, because I know the lights weren't like on the photos. Like, could you even see the photos?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
Yeah?
still could.
Okay.
I
'Cause they
think,
turn on the lights, like,
yeah, after the show ended,
Oh,
they
gotcha.
turned the lights back on,
Okay.
and I was looking at them and I was like, "Who is this?" And I don't know, it was just interesting. It was
Yeah, I've always praised Cultura for having like that kind of a, I guess, relationship with artists and photographers, and
Just
not
like,
just
yeah, fuck
Cultura, but Chris and Val for
in general,
Chris
'cause
Val,
even back in
Kendra,
Cafe Dolce
and
shit,
Benny. Yeah, they from Cafe Dolce like all the way to the end. We talked to Chris about it a little bit. So I was actually okay. So all right, now this is kind of like diving into a little bit. I know you from working together at a electronics store in Laredo, right?
Wow, which one could it be?
Which one?
One
right?
of them. One of the many.
One of the two. You had just barely started getting into photography, and I remember you.
Literally, yeah.
You remember you talking to me a bunch because I think. So my job for a bit was basically training Best Buy employees on Sony camera. Oh shit! I said it.
I know you said that.
Fuck, you said both of those companies, bro.
Well, okay. Well,
y'all didn't hear that shit.
Smash my.
And Sony's.
No, anyway, so Sony cameras, whatever.
Coney.
Right. We my job was to train employees on how to sell those things, and you were one of the only employees that I felt was like actually receptive to any of it. Everybody else just kind of like, this fucking guy.
Bro.
He's like, everybody was just like, I'm just happy to have this dude talking for a bit, so I don't have to do actual work.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but Monse was always there, like absorbing the information, and eventually I remember her telling me like, hey, I'm gonna buy this camera. What do you think? And I was like, shit, that's a hell of a camera.
Yeah.
I think you had started off with an A7S or something like that, or A7R.
The R too.
Yeah, A7R2. It's a beast of a camera, and then from there it was just kind of weird because like not weird, but like we stayed in pretty decent contact since then. Like not too much, but not too little either. But I got to see you kind of like develop your, I guess, like sense as like an artist and a photographer. So to see that kind of, I guess, grow has been kind of a weird like experience for me.
Yeah.
So it's just exactly why I wanted to have you on here, because now you have a fucking exhibit. Like
I know, that's crazy.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
So and it's always great to see that growth, like just in anybody who's like a young creative or Laredoan in general who has that sense. So talk to us a little bit about like, I guess, your journey into it. I know we talk that I feel like that question gets kind of a repetitive because you pretty much just told us about how you got the exhibit, but I mean, what was it about like photography or the your process into it that drew you there?
In a nutshell, it was just like I think I naturally like fell onto it. I had never like set out to like. I don't think there was a moment in my life that was ever been until like very, very, very recently that like, oh, like maybe I am a photographer. Like this is what I want to do. It's been a really weird journey because it's very recent, you know, like that was the first time that I ever got like my own camera, like 2 years ago, really. 2016, I think. Yeah, it was crazy. And I slowly got into it because I remember I got an iPhone 4. That was like my first phone that I had. And I had this like, I was in Mexico spending the summer over there, and there's like literally like nothing where I'm from. Like that's where I'm from, in like this little city in it's called Anahuac, Nuevo León. There's like nothing there, but I stayed at that like every summer. And that summer when I had like an iPhone, like basically a camera, I just started like shooting like anything because I was so bored. And I think like from there, like I kind of like got super interested. Like it became a thing that I was doing, just taking photos, like more than like a normal person would do. Like I was making a more effort to do it. And then from there, I had like I took a theater class because I was just interested in like in art. I was starting to get interested in that, and we had a project where we had to like recreate a film, right, or a scene from a film. And so I created like a web series, like, or I recreated it, and then from there was a film, right? It's not photos, but from there I kind of got interested in video, and so then I got my first camera, thinking that I would do video, and then I decided to just like try photography because I'm like, well, why not? Let me learn like the basics, right? And then I just did it more and more and more, and I got really interested in like understanding like what that was. But all I can say is like I just was super interested in like visuals. Like for some reason, like I connected, like I had so many daydreams and like visions in my head that I was just wanted to play around like with light and shapes and like see what I could do with that, I guess.
What's the inspiration behind this first exhibit that you did?
The first exhibit,
you have a couple of images with us. If you want to refer to some of them specifically, like while you're telling us about that, you can.
Yeah.
Got the camera here for the people tuned in. So.
All 9,000 of them. No, I'm just.
There's a few people watching. No, don't make her nervous.
I'm already nervous. It's okay. I don't know. I guess like what started it was the shoot that I did with Audrey and Diego. So it's basically like. I can't go really much into it because like they'll never stop talking. But
that's the point.
Yeah, but
Do
like
it.
I like
into it.
I don't think I can't have like a straightforward conversation. I get tangled. Yeah, I get tangled in my own like thoughts. So basically, it was just I had this relationship that really like changed my whole perception like on myself and who I was. Right? I mean, it's like any like young relationship that I think that people have. You good?
Yeah,
okay.
Random
crazy,
people outside.
Okay.
Drunk neighbors chilling.
And yeah, I mean that kind of like inspired that first shoot, and then from there, the other shoots that I did was kind of just like exploring identities, right, with my own experiences or just things that like inspired me, right, like men specifically as well, and that's why I had like the Jose's photos there. And yeah, I mean I can show some of the photos, like. The one that I did with Diego and Audrey was probably one of my favorite ever.
This is funny because we had Diego on literally like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
And so now we're gonna see him in
a little
some
one,
more.
But yeah, now you get to
wanna
see
cut into
him
that, dude?
modeling without a shirt. Ooh.
Boom.
So Adris is Diego's girlfriend, who was also part of our audience that day that we were doing it. So cool. So tell us again a little. So the inspiration behind that was your own personal relationships with somebody.
Yeah. I mean, that relationship goes really deep because we're still like I'm not with that person anymore, but we're still very very good friends. Like he's my best friend, and I've known him since like 2015 or something like that. Mm-hmm. We dated for like 2.5 years, and then we stopped, and I think the part of the relationship that like maybe like inspired this thing is like. Or it has changed me like who I am. Like I see him like as I see him as a person, not like as a boyfriend or a girlfriend or whatever. Like I just see him as a person, as a human being, and so that's like why it became super easy for me to like stay friends with him, like super close friends with him after the breakup. And yeah, I mean I don't know. It was, I guess I have like so many connections with him. Like I don't know if anyone else like understands me the way that he doesn't, like. Vice versa. So yeah, I mean I don't know.
And so basically like that's the inspiration behind the photo there, like kind of trying to capture that emotion.
Well, it was like how I was being in that relationship, more towards like me, not the relationship itself, but he helped me realize like who I was at that time in my life. And I think at that time in my life I wasn't very very happy with myself. Like I wasn't accepting myself really. I had a hard time accepting like who I was, and I was very confused as to like who I was. Like I felt empty. I felt like so empty, and like I had like no opinions, like no thoughts. Like I was literally like a rock. Like I felt like that. Yeah, and so like in this photo, that's kind of like this photo, the little series I called it Swallowed Air, because there was just a lot of times where like I felt like I was like just like swallowed air. Like I was that. Like it was like completely just empty and like nothing. Even while we were like talking or like having conversations, so like me with like different interactions with different people, right? And so that's kind of like me in some way, like Audra's there. And I have other photos also sharing that, but yeah, I think the feeling of being thinking that I was nothing, like that kind of inspired like this whole shoot.
Besides
For
your
sure.
relationship to the dude that you're talking about, what
Yeah.
else kind of helped you climb out of that feeling or that mind state?
Mm-hmm.
Can set this back over
Yeah,
there.
yeah. What helped me climb out of the?
Or
of the
yeah, like
feeling?
what helped you change your mind or your perspective on yourself and
Damn, that's
how
a
you
hard
felt?
one. I don't know. Time, like, there's like so many things that like helped change that from like everything that I feel like no one taught me how to be a person or like a human being, and I've for the past like 2 years I've been learning to be a human, which is like sounds so weird. Like what do you mean by that? I don't know. I can refer to like books that I've read that like helped me because I love reading. People like Marcus Aurelius or like Robert Greene, not the Fault in the Stars guy, but the other, like another, yeah, no,
Another author by the same name.
another author, yeah, and Ryan Holiday, like these people who basically, I mean, they go by like a stoic philosophy, which is just like a very pragmatic philosophy, and that helped me see reality like, for what it is and not like fall into the lies that like like the stories that we make in our head, and that's also like why I titled the exhibit Collapsed Identities, because it's like all these stories that we create in our heads about who we are, what the environment is around us, the people that are around us, like our perceptions, like they're like
Skewed, maybe?
yeah, I mean it's hard. I mean it's easy to like get confused in like in our imagination, right? Or like dive too deep into our imagination, like forget like what reality is, or at least for me, I let myself like fall into like the own stories that I was telling myself. And so it's all the collapsed identities that I had in my head, but they're these identities that have been collapsed, like they're not, like I'm realizing, oh, those things are not actually real. Yeah.
It's pretty deep, dude. But
Yeah.
I get where you're coming from, though.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of easy to get lost in whatever. I don't know. Like I guess one of the things when you mentioned that one of the like this platitudes or whatever that came to mind was like not everything that glitters is gold, or even just like really forcing your own filter of whatever reality might be onto what it really is, and then you kind of just get lost in where the truth lies, right? So you stop seeing what really is out there, and then like you mentioned, you only see whatever is in your mind's eye.
Yeah.
But at the same time, though, that's kind of like at least in my perspective, I feel that utilizing the ability of visualizing through your mind's eye is like such an important thing to be able to manifest whatever it is that you're trying to do. But I don't know, I guess it just falls into like what exactly you're trying to manifest, or if you're using that type of ability in the right way.
Well, it's funny how you put it, because that's exactly how I'd like describe my work in a way, where when I create these, specifically this series, like when I create like photos, I feel like I wrote this in my artist statement, but like I don't
You have your artist statement with you?
No, I don't.
You don't?
I have it on my phone.
Do you remember? You have your phone with you?
Yeah, I mean I can.
You can pull it up.
You want me to
and
throw
read
like
it?
a nice soft beat in the background?
You want me to read it?
You can, yeah, it'd be
Okay.
cool. Let's
I'll throw up that beat we were listening to right now.
Sure.
Have like
I
a
can't-
spoken word.
Look up the recording. Hey, can you share this on your Facebook page?
I can, but I mean,
Not right now.
Not
with the
right
thing.
now.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. Why?
No, just I want more people to tune in because this is a fucking badass.
You
song.
share it, bro. Just tune out and do it. What the fuck?
I did share.
I don't know.
I don't know. I
Send it
feel
to
like
people.
I've already said most of the stuff though. I'll read the first quote that I put. I think this is by Robert Greene, I think. It says, "The worst kind of illusions are the ones that we believe about ourselves, and those are the hardest to let go of." That was pretty sure in the book Mastery by him, which I'm still finishing. And yeah, I mean, I actually forgot what I was saying.
I mean, to me, it just kind of sounds like the idea of letting your ego kind of dictate or control what your reality is around you, you know, because
Mm.
one of the things that I've learned or whatever, kind of just through experience, is the idea of like ego death, to where you take like a hard look at yourself through an outside perspective, and you see like your legitimate faults, and you're able to like either accept them or they destroy you. And
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah. Are you able to handle like the reality of like what you're seeing? I just remembered actually what I was gonna say
Oh, okay.
about the works, like what you were saying about manifesting that and like visuals. That's like whenever I create work, I'm kind of confused, but like, or not confused, but I'm there's some bits of through the process where I'm just like unaware or like not certain about like why I'm doing certain things, like why am I choosing this angle, or like not even that, but like why am I choosing like these positions for these people and these colors and like, you know, the whole story. But until like it's done, and I think like the exhibit for me was like kind of like the full circle being closed. When I create work, like it once it's done, I feel like it feels like it's a mirror towards me, like what is actually going through my head when these things have been happening to me, you know, like for example, like me in that relationship, when I'm finding out like, oh shit, like I'm empty, like not that I want to kill myself, but like I just feel like nothing, right? And when I finish like a piece like this, like whatever like unconsciousness that is like, or my unconsciousness, sorry, that is like going into that creating
like whatever
this work.
subconscious themes that are in your mind.
Exactly, like I can see that
come to
like
the foreground.
Exactly, I can see it like in a physical object, you know, there, and like and then it makes sense. Then it all starts making sense, like what I was feeling when creating it.
No doubt.
Yeah.
And it's funny that small exchange right there between you and I, like it fucking made me think of when we were with Diego. He had a painting, or not a painting, a sketch that he did of like a dude sitting in some fucking chamber, like writing some shit out, and it almost looked like I don't know, like some sort of gremlin just writing out like some crazy thoughts into like a journal, almost like obsessive, right? And then even in just that moment, like there was 3 different opinions of what the fuck it meant, and like the artist himself was like, well, this is what I was thinking, right? But I'm like, even if that's what you're putting out, like subconsciously there's other themes there that people can see, because it's like I don't know, I guess like a mirror, right? So you're only going to see whatever it is that your mind is going to fucking project onto it, perhaps. I don't know.
Yeah. I wish I knew what like most people saw when they saw those photos. Like if they're really, like if it connected with anyone, like I want to know like what they saw in that photo in the mirror.
I can tell
Why are you
like
laughing,
one of the
Roger?
things that I felt when I was there, because I mean I went to the opening, and okay, so all right, this is kind of going back to the creative process thing a little bit, because all right, so personally I dabble in photography, but I don't when I edit and stuff like that, I don't really get to I prefer to try and communicate as much as I can through the initial photo before doing anything with it. A lot of my photography, which I have up on my Instagram, but I haven't really done anything in a while. It's just whatever I took. It's unedited. When you take care of your photos, I use that phrase "take care" because you're
like
very meticulous with the way that you get in there and like look at like the different. Okay, you know what? I have one thing. Okay,
what?
All right, this is gonna go
you keep
back
smirking.
a little bit.
Why are you
I'm smirking because it's a cool experience for me, man. Because like one, I'm kind of learning a little bit about myself, because like I've always thought that like I'm a little bit egotistical with the way that I do things, and but because I don't really translate it to egotistical more than I do that like I used to really not give a shit about myself, and it wasn't until as of late that I've kind of developed a little more of like esteem behind myself to kind of like push myself on, because otherwise I was putting way too much value on other people and what their opinions were of me. So
fuck that.
Yeah, exactly. So to have this kind of like experience or this kind of talk, it's good because it's like it's brain food, man, and it's and it helps you kind of like realize a little bit of it. I like how both of you are kind of like settling in your seats, like let's fucking go. So where was I at? When we're talking a little bit about like when I first messaged you, and because I knew, because I and this is a long time ago.
Oh.
It's when I had just gotten my camera. It was maybe like a year and a half ago or something.
Mm-hmm.
I had already seen that you'd been doing a lot of photography. You had been doing a lot of photography that you had sent me a portfolio, which if you still have, if you
Oh, it's a
like
website,
kept
right?
Yeah, a website. If you still have, if you've kept up, link us, that way we can throw that up. Anyway, so I messaged you, and I remember thinking like, damn, I'm not gonna message her anymore because I felt like it was a little bit like it made me think about it. So anyway,
Wait,
I'm,
what?
I'm
Wait,
rambling
wait.
way too much.
I
I'm
know,
sorry.
no,
I'm
wait, I
trying to
wanna
get
That
to
know.
didn't make any sense.
Okay, all right, no, okay. I'm
Wait,
rambling.
why didn't you want to text me anymore?
I'm rambling way
Were
too
you
much.
just like, nah,
okay.
she's too good. I can't fucking message her because I'm also a
almost
photographer.
exactly
No!
like that. Yes. So look at this.
You fucking little hoe,
I don't
dude.
know. I don't mean
playing.
to. I don't mean to make it sound like it made me think about myself and what I wanted to do with photography. So basically, what happened was I messaged Monse and I was like, "Hey, I'm actually looking to get a little more into photography. I've been dabbling a little bit, and I think it would be really cool if we could at some point like if you could kind of walk me through what your process is or whatever, right?" And it was a while back, and I remember your response was like, it was
Nah,
intense.
bro.
It wasn't. No.
Nah,
it was,
bro.
It wasn't
Do
a
your
bad
own.
thing. It
Okay.
was intense, and it was like, okay, I take my photography very seriously, and if
If all you're trying to
if
do is
we're-
throw some
if we're-
Instagram filters and fuck
it
off.
was something. No, it wasn't like that. It was like I take my photography very seriously. It's a huge process for me, and it takes a lot out of me too. I am not really. I'm working on some stuff right now, so I can't really tell you yes right now. But like this and that. So you basically told me that your process right now is like on an elevated level. Right, and you're barely discovering it or working through it yourself,
for sure.
and so
Yeah.
to kind of invite somebody else in on that circle would kind of impede on that process, which I respected 100%. I wasn't like, oh, she's no.
I don't know if it would impede it, but I don't think I understood what I was doing at the time.
Okay, well, then I started seeing what you meant because
I did like a
and
live stream or something.
Yeah, you did a couple live streams, which I tuned into like all of them, and I remember because like one of my
Thank you.
one of my friends were like, "Dude, you're obsessed," and I was like, "No, I just want to find out what it's like." Like that's always been my thing. When you post the live streams of like the guys making beats, I'm always like, "Shit, dude!" Like I tune in and I check it out because I like seeing that. I like seeing how like work develops. So I saw you and I saw you getting in there, and you were literally zooming in, and you would take care of every like little pixel,
dude. Yeah,
and it was like this like crazy to me. It was crazy to me because it's like the photographers I know and that I've hung out with and that I've worked with, we'll say like Kevin, Nora. I've talked to the dudes from like Zero Photography and like that kind of stuff. They aren't that meticulous,
but
it's
different
also
kind of photography.
Absolutely, and that's exactly what I was going to say.
It's like more commercial.
It's more. Well, I mean, even going back to like Hector, because I had a pretty lengthy conversation with Hector too. Hector Hernandez. He mentioned he wasn't like, he just does it and then he leaves. Like he doesn't really go into like the being like super meticulous, except with the way that he sets up and then executes and then takes off. So he literally like drapes a cloth, throws it, and then is like, peace.
He's really fast.
And so, but like, so tell us a little bit about that. Like, what's the I guess the ethics that you've got to that whenever you get in there and like actually manipulate like every single pixel. Like it's
well, there's like different things to it. I think recently I've been learning. Well, I've been getting better at like not taking forever, because I would take days to edit a photo sometimes, because I was just like exploring like everything I could to like see like what I could do with it. And actually something that I took from Hector is that when he was shooting, he's like, like I don't know exactly how he said it, but he's like, you can shoot like forever, right? Like you can keep shooting, like trying to get different angles and shit, but like as long as like you see the shot that you like you're good, like you don't. It's I'm trying to remember like how he said it, but basically like you don't need like so many shots. If you got like what you want, like that's good. You can stop. It's better like to maybe stop than like have like all these like thousands of like options for you to choose from, because then you just get like lost in all of that, or you could. But with editing specifically, yeah, I mean, I think I just like exploring just everything that I could, because I'm also interested in like manipulating a photo and like taking it out of like, or taking it away from the reality of the photo. I've put this like in comparison in my work where I thought about this. I've never like actually told someone about it, but like, because I have respect for painters. I don't know how to paint like at all, or draw. I suck at it, and I bet it's like way more than like what I quote unquote do. But I sometimes see my photos as like paintings in a way, not really, but like just in the way that I edit them, because like I like to fuck with all the colors, and I have this like Wacom tablet where I have like it's a pen, so I draw on my photos sometimes, and I find that really, really fun. And whenever I'm like coloring specific parts of the photo, it just feels really nice, like actually doing that, right?
Yeah,
it's not on paper, but
you distort some of your images too, right? Like, I know there's one that's currently on the exhibit at Cultura upstairs. Go check it out. There's one that's it's a male on a beach, like with sand.
It was at the fucking North Central Park. It's not a beach.
It looks like a beach. What the fuck?
It's the North Central. It's a volleyball.
Oh, okay, it's just sand. Was there water
sand.
though?
No, dude.
I feel like for whatever reason, or you know what? Maybe it's just the area that's like distorted. That for whatever reason, I guess like looked like a
shore or something.
It looked like a shore.
Yeah.
So okay,
nah,
it's North Central Park.
Fucking North Central. Laredo has some really cool places.
Awesome. So there was a you distorted basically from like the shoulders up, right?
I don't know. There's different parts. That's actually the first time that I've ever done that effect, like with that photo. It's called.
Do you have it with you?
The photo?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. The effect is, for those of you who want to know, it's a pixel sorter. It's a pixel sorting effect. Usually, you've probably seen this like on a lot of videos, a lot of like rapper videos or something like that.
Okay. So this is like.
Oh, okay.
I did that in After Effects. Basically, you get this plugin. It's called Pixel Sorter, and you mess with the photo, and that way you put the effect on the photo and create it like that. Yeah. But yeah, I like to distort the photos for sure. Oh, nice.
That's pretty fun. After Effects. I always thought that it was mostly for like just video work.
Yeah, me too. But no, you can take a frame key out of it and have a photo.
Oh, that's true. I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah.
I don't fuck with it too much myself.
Yeah.
What's your take on photography as a whole? Like I know obviously you consider it an art, and I know a lot of people do. It is an art. There's no like debating that. But you've got like different you do more creative work, and then like there's like, you know, people who do like events or snapshotting. And I know this is a conversation that we had with Kevin once actually, where he was saying that snapshot and event photography is not creative work.
See, I have a weird like or like not, I guess a weird perception about that, because I don't know if I agree with that. Like I think that in my head, like or I say, like when I mentioned my photography, I was like, oh yeah, it's like creative photography. But it's like I hate saying that, because it's like I think all photography is creative. Like you have to be creative to do it. You know, you have to, creativity is just like, so like I think like finding a solution for a problem. So you're trying to take photos for an event, like you have to put like some creativity into doing that, even though it's just an event. And even like commercial photography, like that, all that shit is creative too. Like you obviously have to be a creative to do that, I think. Unless like you don't really care about it, then you can be lazy about it and not be creative in it. But this, I guess, what I like to call it is more like abstract photography rather than creative photography, because I think event is still creative. I've done events, and I get why you would say it's not creative.
I personally, I can't stand shooting events.
Yeah.
I've only done it like.
What events? What
like
was the event?
Times. Well, one of them was for Cultura.
What was happening?
Oktoberfest.
Okay.
I think the thing is that I was.
Did you get shit faced though?
I did. I got a bar tab. It was awesome, but it was. I think I was. It's just for me like. I didn't really like have any control over anything. It was just like you gotta appeal to what the venue or what the owners or whoever your clients, I guess, at that point, you have to appeal to what they want and not really have any sort of creative control over what you want. So I didn't enjoy that, and also didn't enjoy that I couldn't enjoy myself. Like it was kind of just like I was constantly scrambling to get different shots of different things, and I was, maybe it's also because like it's like one of the first times that I was doing it. I assisted with a wedding, hated it. It was a lot of very like, I don't want to call them snobs, but like when you've got people who have very high expectations for the kind of photos that are coming out.
Yeah.
I mean, the way they communicate themselves isn't necessarily like the best, because they're kind of like, oh, make sure you're getting this, make sure you're getting that. And
I mean, it's a wedding day.
Yeah, well, yeah.
They're intense.
And that's why I don't want to call them snobs, but and what else? I helped with an engagement party that they were.
You were shooting
throwing
yesterday.
with.
It was thingy.
I was, yeah, and you know what? That one I didn't mind, because that was just kind of like, one, I had already spoken to Diego literally the day before, so it basically everything that he was saying and that he was talking about at the Artist Talk at Shorts Gallery was literally already said here, and this was kind of like his warm up. He told me afterwards too. He was kind of like, "Hey man, I'm super glad that we decided to do that, because it was a really good warm up for me, and then a lot of the questions were the same." So I didn't mind that, because it was also a favor for a friend, you know, so it wasn't that big of a deal to me, and I enjoyed that, because it was just kind of like I had the freedom. It wasn't really like pressured to do one thing or another. I didn't have to. I could have just put my camera down at any point and say, "Yeah, I'm done," you know. But yeah, so I don't know. That's just my take on it, I guess. What do you think, Josh?
I mean, I've done it a couple of times myself too.
Well,
you've done events?
You've done photography?
Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I learned a lot of shit from Jeff.
Oh, that's right. Well, yeah, Jeff Jeff's very fucking talented.
Yeah.
Oh, is that Serial Photography?
Jeff Castillo, a digital Jeff.
Yeah.
Oh, digital. Oh, never mind. I don't know who it is.
Yeah,
he works very closely with Roland. I know you know Roland.
Yeah.
Right.
He used to be his teacher mentor.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
He used to teach at OBJ, and now he's like doing his own thing, executive producing shows and shit. But yeah, dude, like I learned a lot from him. He kind of like was an apprentice under him for a second. Help like.
Is this something that you'd want to like continue ever?
No,
okay.
Not really. As far as like visuals for me, it would be more so like with videos. That's where I like to fuck around. Not so much photography.
The video stuff we did for a bit too, and that was fun. We need to film another promo eventually, or at least like skits and stuff.
Yeah,
that was fun for me.
Yeah,
it's just also like it's a lot of work, and I feel like I was very scrambled.
So much.
I think I have it like so. Oh, okay. You know what? This is going back to something you said earlier, where you have like a visual in your head, and you want to be able to like you have constant like daydreams sort of, and I feel like that happens to me a ton, and I can never actually translate it onto whatever it is that I'm doing, and that's a huge creative block for me, because I feel like I don't have the tools or the knowledge or the process necessary to actually put whatever it is that I want to do out on paper or you know, in a photo. So
I mean, I've gotten to work on like 2 music videos, one of which I was co-directing and the other one I shot and directed myself. But so that was fun for me. That was cool. Also like writing the storyboard for one, because one of them was like an actual paid gig, so it was like actual work, and the second one was just a video for Los Leones. So I got to just kind of do what I wanted. But I mean, I've done like the most recent fucking event photography that I did was just one of my best friends' gender reveal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, or gender assumption.
Gender assumption.
So yeah, like that was it was weird. I didn't like. I don't know. I just don't fucking like it. I don't like to be like, oh, dude, come over here, take a picture of this. Oh, dude, come over here, take a picture of this. But like, I was like,
it's a quick buck.
Yeah, I just did it for free. I was like,
Oh.
fucking, I don't care. I'll fucking hook you up, dude. Fuck it. I don't give a fuck.
How right. So then going back to that, like, how did you develop that sense? I guess, was it just always there that you just were able to translate whatever it was that you had in your head while you were daydreaming to an actual work?
I mean, for some reason, like the more not for some reason, obviously, through repetition, you know, it's just like the more I did it, like not the easier, but like the closer I got to like, oh, like this is what I actually meant to like photograph. Like this is it. You know, I'm proud of this shit. It was just through doing it more and more. And it's funny because I think I would take I think I still take like long breaks between shoots, or like I'll do shoots for like for some time and then I'll stop for like months or weeks. And then I come back not doing it, and for some reason, like it's like when you go to sleep and you wake up and you have like more energy, or your brain's like processed everything or whatever, and it's like good to go now. It feels like that. It feels like a nice reset where like I go back and for some reason like it's just my work's just better than before, or like progressed a little more. But specifically like how that's or how I've done that, like I honestly don't know. I feel like since because I've only been doing it for like 2 years, you know, like taking it seriously, like oh, like I want to like really get good at this or like get better at it. The progression for me has been rather quickly into like me like getting what I want from it. So I haven't like really found like exactly like what it is about it that has helped me do that. Yeah, other than like just repeating the same action. Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, I can see why that would be a huge help. It's just like anything else, you know, the more you practice the skill, the easier it becomes a pathway, and you're just like, all right, this is kind of what I'm going for, and I'd like to fucking, all right, make this shit happen.
Yeah, and also purpose. I think like the intention of like what you're trying to photograph, like it's helped like so much. Like I've done shoots where like I did it like last minute, and like the concept was like halfway there in my mind, but I still did the shoot, and like it just didn't turn out good. Like I didn't do anything with that with those pieces because there was like no real purpose behind the photo shoot, and I find that I can't really do a lot of work like that. Like I can't like photography, like I'll hate it. Like I'll get bored so much in the computer, and I'll just like want to trash it if it has like no intention or like no purpose behind it. And so I think like actually that maybe has like helped in getting those whatever's in my head into the work, right? Because I knew like, oh, there's an intent here, there's a purpose here, and like I'm specifically like trying to get that thing, and I'm not just like basing it off of like, oh, this shit looks pretty or like something like that.
So how do you go about grading that, I guess, or judging that? Like how do you know when your work is getting better?
When it's just it feels more real. Like the whatever I'm trying to express like feels more real through the photo. Like for example, the shoot that I did with Auto San Diego, like that one's like probably the one that I'm most proud of, apart from Jose's too.
Oh, you
like,
have that one? The Jose
yeah,
one?
I have that one. That was like my favorite of the exhibit, to be honest.
My personal favorite.
Yeah. But just like the emotion, like you can actually see everything from it, and like it kept like when I look at it, basically like, oh, like that's what I was feeling, you know, like it really touches me in that way where like when I said before, like it starts making sense when I see the photo like already done.
Yeah.
If it's making sense to me, then I did a good job, you know. That's what I think.
Let's see it, because I want to know which one it is.
This one's Jose's, my lovely friend Jose's. Yeah, I love this one. He's such a beautiful man. And his hair is like, oh, by the way, I usually have a makeup artist and a stylist, like, or a hairstylist, like do the shoots, right? The hair for people. I think there's like a light on it. But this one, I had to do it on my own. So I did his hair, which I'm like super proud of because his hair was so nice. But yeah, that's the collage. Yeah. I have like 2 more photos of him as well, where you can actually see the hair.
What do you call that?
What?
Does it have a name?
This one?
Yeah, that specific photo.
I called it Staring at Myself. Also, that's like one of the things that inspires me as well. Like apart from experiences and like things that happen in my life, I think like I freak myself out when I look at myself sometimes in the mirror. I try to. Which is weird. But that's how I get some of my inspiration, and I have like so many photos of selfies, but like me just like staring at myself in the mirror, which is weird. But basically this was like kind of like trying to take that you know, those photos with him as the muse, and then this is like the one with his hair.
Nice.
Like I did that okay.
It's got some
I got proud.
For real.
It took me like an hour.
And again, go see all these pictures at Cultura.
Oh yeah, please.
It's better there than here. So.
Oh hell yeah. Yeah, it's really nice to see it in person.
Do you, when you're shooting, do you ever have like music in your head, like as you're shooting?
That's a good question.
I've never thought of that. I don't think I do, but I have music playing
Oh, okay.
when I shoot.
What do you
for
usually
sure.
listen to when you're shooting?
Foals. That's good.
I actually, with Jose's shoot, I did have Fools when I was doing his hair because the
Nice.
album had just come out that day, so I was like,
Yeah.
hell yeah, we're gonna listen to it. I don't know. Recently, I've been playing like Lapalux or Shlomo, which is like I'm super like into those two artists like as of late, and like Flying Lotus. Like,
Yeah, that's very like some like jazz kind of pop influence stuff, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it just gets me in the like whatever gets me closest to like the mood that I was feeling when I was like, I don't know, feeling like these emotions from the photo shoots. Actually, I think the last two, or not the last two shoots, but like the one from Stacy and the one from Autos and Dare, I think I was playing like the same music, to be honest.
The
Both
same music?
Yeah, Lapalux for sure.
I really
think.
dig the Audrey San Diego ones because they had this weird, not weird, but like this really cool color scheme where it was like a 70s kind of vibe to it.
Hell
It was
yeah.
weird.
It was
So
a 50s
like
home
Oh, yeah.
downtown.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Actually,
That's cool. You were able to like translate that into
Yeah.
the photography as well.
these
Fuck,
are
I'm
the
so mad. I want to be able to do that kind of shit
These are the
myself.
two
Oh,
ones.
God
Just keep
damn.
doing it, bro. It's the only way to do it.
you know Sam
What?
Sam from work home theater. You remember him?
Is it a dude?
It's a dude.
Sam.
I don't know. It doesn't matter. But that was his home.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
cool.
actually, yeah. It did like some real estate photos for like his mom, and it happened to be his mom, and so they let me use the house for
Oh, that's
them.
nice.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, that's dope.
I was about to ask, like, how do you, or where did you shoot most of these?
Yeah, I was gonna say like, what's your? How do you choose a location?
I'm not too particular with location as long as it like it fits like what I'm trying to say, right? I guess I care more about like the I mean it's just like as long as the vibe is there, I think I'm good. The 50s home, I mean I got it through a friend. The other one, Jose's, was at my house in my studio there, my little studio there, and Stacy's was at the park. I think Stacy's like did have a purpose because I was just trying to find something like really freeing, and I love going to the park with myself because I'll go into like when there's like the trail and then like you go into the little monte or whatever. Yeah. So like I always like going there and like just being by myself, like just looking at trees and plants, and so it feels very free to do that, and yeah, that's why I chose that place to do her shoot. Whatever fits.
I was gonna say something. What are your thoughts concerning like so okay, you work with a lot of friends, right? Like is that you typically you have as your models, like your friends?
Yeah, if not, I'll reach out to people. And,
Okay,
like who I don't
how do you do that? Do you
just
reach out
message
to
them
just,
through
say,
Instagram.
hey, I think you'd be great for a shoot of mine.
Yeah, just be like, hey, I want to do this shoot. This is the concept. It'd be cool if we can like work together and do that. Would you be down?
Do you ever get any kind of pushback on like people who are, I guess, not really interested in it being a creative photo shoot more than it is a shoot for themselves? Does that ever happen to you?
No, thankfully it has not. Even with
Have you heard of any of those kind of occurrences though?
actually, yeah, with my clients, but that's like, I mean, that's different because this is personal work, right? Like
Right.
I like it's all on like what my vision is. When I do client work, I mean, it's obviously, well, I mean, they hire me for a reason. That's what I think. Like when I tell them like, I'm gonna like edit and shoot the way that I think because that's why you're hiring me specifically.
Right, yeah.
But obviously they do have like, they're saying like what they like and not. So that's where like I'll get any pushback. And I've actually like had to maybe like turn clients down because like it doesn't connect, like my whatever I'm trying to do and whatever they want to do, like it doesn't connect. So it's wasting time.
I think that's where that disconnect comes with like the general public, is that where people believe that a photographer or any person with a fancy camera is going to be able to take pictures of them the way they want it to be done. But realistically, it's very much like if you can commission a certain artist into painting something for you and you want it done in like the style of somebody else's, like it's not the same thing.
No.
Like you can't ask for like something to be done like a fashion shoot without any sort of like creative control from the actual photographer. So and the reason I asked that is because like I've gotten people who would like say something like I'll sound like I want to work like creative control. I want to do a shoot. And then when it comes to the shoot, they like start pitching ideas at me, and it's like,
oh yeah,
and it's kind of like, I actually had this idea. Let's do this way. We can take the picture you like your way as well, but I'm more concerned about doing it this other way because it's that was my vision, and that's how I want to try doing it. And then it turns into like this whole like weird rift because they start saying things like, oh, you know, well, if I'm gonna be like in the photo, like I want you to do it this way, and it's kind of like, I don't know about that. So I
but then there's also like the opposite of that, where like you can be riffing off of each other's ideas.
Oh,
absolutely, yeah. I'm not always. It's not to say like no, it can only be done my way and my way
No.
only. Like,
It is I.
Yeah.
It's mine.
It's both two people are doing the work, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, in a sense, I mean, your model is also part of the of a big component of it. Yeah. I had another idea. Oh, you know what? This is you know what? I said towards the end. Never mind.
How much do you feel like the culture of Laredo influences what you shoot?
Somehow, somewhat, yeah. Like, I don't know about Laredo specifically because I don't have a deep connection with Laredo. I don't feel connected to Laredo really.
Oh, no? Why
Not
is
really. That? I don't know. I just like I don't.
Because you weren't born here, or
No, not at all. I mean, I've lived in Mexico and I lived here like almost like over half of my life, so like a good amount. And I just always felt like odd, like out of place, like with people. Like I don't have many friends because of that reason. Like I just don't. It's hard for me to connect with people that I've met here. You know. I don't know why specifically, or I wouldn't want to go like deep into that. But I don't know. Just Laredo doesn't like. I guess I don't think like oh, this is where I'm from and like this is like where I'm gonna stick. You know, like I love traveling. Like also because like I just think like there's so many, like I could have just been born like anywhere else. You know,
right?
Why would I stick with like the ideas that are around me when I could have easily like been born somewhere else and I could have just been like stuck with the ideas of like that place. It's like if I was like it's like how I think about religion as well, right? Like just because I'm born in like or around like people who are Mexican or American, like I'm not gonna be Christian because if I was born in like North Korea or something, well, I mean that's not a religion, but like you know some
if
other
you were
place.
born over there, that would really fucking suck.
Yeah, exactly, right. But if I was like born in another place and like just because I was born in that place, oh, now I'm gonna believe that there's this kind of God or like whatever, you know. I guess I'm just very like detached from where I live, or the ideas surrounding me. Except for like Mexico, I've realized like recently I have this like I've had this thought that like I've for a long time like I really want to live in Mexico, like in Chiapas or like in Mexico City, and just like photograph like people in the fucking like especially in Chiapas. Like I saw these women when I went on a trip. They were like taking like cacao or like coffee beans off the trees, and like I just want to go like into the forest with them and like shoot them. Yeah, exactly. And I mean Mexico is like I think that's like the only place that has affected me in that way. Like for like because my childhood was in there and the people that were in there like. I don't know what it is about it, like the struggle of like them being like, or especially my town is like really poor town, like the kind of people that are there, the personalities that are there, like I just can I can connect to those people, but not here in Laredo specifically, you know. I guess more.
So that was going to be my follow-up question. I know do you want to touch on the religion thing at all? No? Okay, so my follow-up question was so what places I mean, I guess that answered it, but so you feel you are connected or you do feel connection with Mexico?
For sure. There's something there. I don't know what it is. Like I need to go explore it, but like for sure.
Yeah, I mean that's inspiring. I mean you've traveled quite a bit and actually see so I follow you on Instagram. You can follow Monse at Monse Guajardo. I can never say that.
You said what, Monse, right?
Yeah. Monse Guajardo.
Yeah, I'm sure he was joking about it. Monse Guajardo. I follow you on Instagram, and I see that fairly often. I mean, I want to say in the last like 6 months, you've done it like 2-3 times where you'll go with other photographers and collaborate with them, right? Like
Yeah, two occasions.
And me, I think, was
And
the
me,
one that I
and
started.
me Yang.
Yeah, I started
Mm.
following because of that too. But so what's that like when you go out? Is that kind of a, I guess, catering to whatever's like beckoning, like, oh hey, I need to go out and like experience or check these things out
For sure, for sure. Like I wanna like just go out and explore like what is there, because I obviously like, well, I think like, you know, this is not like everything that there is, you know, there's like so much. Like I'm more concerned about like the internet as a whole, like the whole world, than like thinking so much about like where I am currently and like in the place where I am. So going out and just seeing like how other people work, and especially like other people that like I dig their work so much, and they're kind of like, I see them like beyond me in their work. Not like, I hate like saying beyond me, but like there's something that I can really appreciate from their work that I'm like, how are they doing that, you know? And so I just like to learn from people like that. And unfortunately, I don't know a single photographer that lives in Laredo that I can feel like, oh, I want to go and learn from them. I'm pretty sure there's like so many things that I can learn from people. Like I'm not saying that I can't like learn from.
I would say just follow Jeff's page and you'd be like, oh shit, okay.
Oh yeah, no, I don't know, because I don't.
No, yeah, I'm just saying.
not.
Sorry,
I'm not.
I
I don't know so many photographers here either. But I can certainly appreciate, even if it's like a different kind of photography, like not the one that I do. Like I can certainly learn from them. I don't think I can't. But I don't know. I guess I haven't like wanted to see like their creative process through it, or not so interested in it. But I'm pretty sure like I can learn like so much from them, because it's like there's so much that you can learn from different types of photography for sure. But yeah, I mean that experience of going, I went to Houston to shoot with her, or a sister, and then I went to New York to a sister as well. And it's very interesting how, more than like the work itself, I was really interested in meeting people, like networking with people, and like knowing how she is where she is, and like how she met the people that she has met and worked for the people that she has worked for. You know, that's like the main interest, I guess. Yeah. I
can fuck with that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the point of getting out there.
Hell yeah.
Try and meet new people, fucking network.
Yeah.
I don't know. Roger, isn't that like your whole spiel in San Antonio also?
What'd you do?
Or like just in general, no? Like whenever you're in like
yeah. Well, I mean,
shit, like
it's weird, man, because I've been on a whole different like.
Just on another level, dude.
On another level, bro. No, not really. It's just that okay, so for a good while, I feel like I was more concerned with the, I guess the outward. No, that's the wrong word. I used to be very concerned with like my surroundings. I used to be concerned with my surroundings, the kind of people that were around me. I used to be very concerned with what they had to say about me and all that kind of stuff. So like networking is one thing, but it's just become very easy for me to network that I've kind of started making it more about me, like internally, just because I feel like that's I struggle a ton. Like I mean, everything from like, I guess, confidence. I feel like I kind of have like an inferiority complex where I feel like everything I do is just never going to be good enough. And it's in everything, everything and anything that I do. I just feel like I'm always kind of, it's not necessarily like I'm striving towards like greatness or anything like that, but I want to be able to kind of like, I guess, self-actualize in a sense where I'll be able to say, when I do something and I see it, it'll bring me peace because I know I did it well, and it aligns with my, being. And so when I go out and I meet people, networking is fun, but I think the funner part is I guess sitting and meditating on like what your experience like taught you, and then maybe that sounds a little pretentious because I know like I've gotten a couple of people comment and say like they go, oh, sounds like you're a little more self-involved and this and that. It's
why?
Maybe, but
what are you saying? Like you're just like you're like what did you just say right now?
I'm more okay, as of late, I'm just more concerned with myself than I am with other people.
I think you need to be selfish to be like selfless, in some way.
That's exactly the point. Yeah, and that's a perfect way of summing it up. Yeah, you're selfish to be selfless. I don't treat people badly. Absolutely not. I enjoy meeting people, and I'll treat everybody with respect so long as they show me respect as well. But I'm more focused on myself, I guess.
I think that's good. You don't know who the fuck you are. Like, how do you?
Yeah, and I think that's what it is. You're just kind of discovering. I think this last year has taught me a shit ton because I've been through a bunch.
Nice.
So
that's good.
It's been really shitty. Like
that's good though. The shittiness.
Going through it, but I feel like I've kind of like I've grown a lot from that shittiness.
Yeah, there's this quote. I don't know if 50 Cent said it or Robert Greene in his book. Yeah, he has this book. It's called 50th Law. He wrote a book with 50 Cent, and it says, or the second chapter is called "Turning Shit into Sugar," right? So like all the fucking shit in your life, turn around. Like it's also like it's like a stoic. It's like from the Stoic philosophy, I think too. Like use whatever whatever shit comes up to you, like to work for you. So, yeah.
Yeah, I dig that. Somebody commented on the.
Are people commenting?
Yeah, well,
all 30 million of them.
Wow.
Giovanni Martinez says Once is an amazing individual and a great yogi.
Wait, oh my gosh! Wait, Giovanni, are you listening right now?
He's tuned in, I think. And so is one of your coworkers, or I don't know.
Wait, Giovanni, that's a guy?
Gio, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I know another Gio.
Oh, okay.
That's like I thought it was her because. She goes to Casa Yoga and like that's how we know each other. But it's another Gio. Okay, so nice. I know Gio.
I wanted to transition into that as well. You do yoga.
Yeah, dude, that's like the other half of my life.
I've gone to a couple of them.
Dude, he's gone to my fusion bar classes. I don't teach anymore fusion bar, but
it was
what?
You did.
I did good, right?
Yeah, but you stopped going, bitch.
Wait, what do you mean? How? You stopped doing them. What do you mean?
No, but you stopped going before I stopped doing them.
Oh, okay.
I'm just kidding. Life is busy. Life is busy. I'm getting
calling out. No, I think the thing is that you were teaching at a certain like time frame or whatever, and then it switched, didn't it? Like it moved to another day or something, and I couldn't go anymore. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. So, all right.
I know they're hard.
It wasn't just about it being hard. She's calling me out, man.
Didn't you make a joke? That you told me about a joke, like, oh, I get it. Yoga isn't about like the pose or whatever, or meditating. It's about like holding your farts or some shit like that. Sorry if I just like butched your joke. By the way.
Yeah, it's cool. I'll tell it. Yeah, I did actually. So for those of you who have maybe like seen in a comedy show at all, if you haven't, hey, check it out. I got a couple dates coming up. It doesn't matter. I'm not gonna self promote like that. But yeah, I tell a joke about doing yoga. Because I did yoga for a good while, and I still actually have been like I'll watch like YouTube stuff, and I have this like bigger space in my room now, and I have a yoga mat and everything, so like set up whatever, and I'll do that. But I tell the joke about how I didn't realize a lot of people had always mentioned that yoga was a workout, right? And I didn't realize what I thought it was. It was. I tell that I think. A lot of people mention about yoga being a workout. I didn't realize what part of it was working out. I thought it was just like people standing funny for an hour and then they go home and eat cardboard or something. And
all right.
I'm like, yeah, you can sun me on here. It's fine. Yeah. Anyway, so and then I say it turns out that the workout part of yoga is trying not to fart the whole time.
Yep, that's certainly a part of it.
Did you hear that joke?
No, you told me that joke.
Oh, I told
me that joke.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Well, yeah. So I tell that joke, and then there's like a whole other thing to it. I'm not gonna tell that all, but
well, I believe you. I mean, I've had an experience like that.
You farted once?
No. Oh, well, not farted.
She flexed so hard that she never did.
I queefed. That's not even. I wouldn't say it's even worse. It's just like no one likes to talk about that shit.
Funnier.
It's funnier. No one likes to talk about it. Like I'm pretty sure I've never had a girl talk to me about it, but I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of girls that have queefed and they don't say anything about it. But
I wish I could say it with like that Canadian South Park accent, quiff, or however the fuck they say it. Quiff. She quiffed on my face. That's fucking cool. How'd you get into yoga?
That's fucking cool. You queefed?
Yeah, man. Release the queef, my guy.
The queefing.
Release the queef. It had to go.
Release
Dude,
the
queefs are actually worse than farts because I don't know. Okay, so no. I learned how to stop them. I just wasn't engaging my bandas, right? Which is like a word for your core, basically. But once it happens, once you do queef, you can't yeah, exactly. You can't really stop it, or like I haven't been able to stop it. So like the more you move, like the more it just gotta go. Everything's gotta go. So like you can't like, you know how you can hold farts? You can't really hold out a queef. I don't know how.
I wouldn't know.
So it just
you'd
goes.
have to have like fucking crazy pelvic floor muscles.
Yeah, dude, vagina muscles.
Just boom. Fucking hold that shit in, dude. No, but how'd you get into yoga?
How did I get into yoga?
How'd you get into yogurt?
Yogurt?
Not yoga. I'm sorry.
I don't know. I was in probably freshman year or something in high school.
Were you like super woke?
Nah, dude. Nah. I was stupid because I was never really chubby, but I wasn't super skinny, or as fit as I am now. Whatever. I mean, you don't have to be skinny to be fit, but I was eating a lot of garbage back then, and I just wasn't doing anything, and I felt like a slob. And so I was like, okay, what can I do? You know, and so I started like looking for exercises. I did Insanity. I did like Pilates, and I was like, nah, fuck this shit. Like I hate this shit. And then I saw a picture of someone doing a headstand, and I was like, the fuck is that? I'll do it. And then I tried it for weeks in my backyard, and then I finally got it, and it felt so good, like to fuck up so many times and like actually get something after like so many times. And then from there, like for like the next like 2-3 years, like I was just like picking out like random poses that I saw and like just doing them. And then I just started going to a studio, Casa Yoga, about like not too long ago, maybe like about a year and a half ago. And then from there I just started going like daily, and then I actually got into yoga. So I haven't been doing yoga for like a long time, but
and you've been then you got into like teaching it, like, doing the fusion bar class, which
which is fucking weird.
Yeah.
Well, it's weird how I got into teaching.
What does that mean? You throw that
fusion
fucking
bar?
term.
Oh yeah, all right.
Fusion bar is a mix between yoga, Pilates, and ballet. So it's really dynamic, and it's like a low intensity workout, but it's meant for like toning your body.
It's not low intensity. That's bullshit.
If you're not okay, the first time I did it, I was like sore for days, and I was like, "Holy shit! I have no cardio like experience. I have no endurance." But once you get used to it, it's just like I think the cardio is what beats you up.
Well, yeah, cardio is probably the fucking bitch. Like just in any sort of workout.
I think that's the thing that kept me going back though. Is that like I felt like for the time that I was going back, it kept me like.
You can still go. You can pay.
I don't want to. Casa Yoga will still text me now and tell me,
"Hey, come on, come drop another cup of honey."
Yeah,
we got you, bro.
Though they were free classes at the time, so but
yeah, that's true.
But
I was teaching you for free.
What's up?
Yeah.
How balls deep were you into yoga? Are you like fucking doing like Kundalini yoga and shit, or?
I do some of it. I'm not okay. Bro. I'm not so deep into like all the terminology, I don't even know all the position words. I know them, but I don't know the words because I'm not.
Don't know any of them. I just know the title.
Yeah.
And I know someone that does it regularly and has like a YouTube channel that doesn't.
Oh, nice. Nice. No, I'm not too deep into it. I want to get into deep into it. It's just when your life is divided into two things, like it's a little bit of slower journey into each one.
It's a more I don't know. I would say it's like more spiritually engaging as well.
Oh, okay, dude.
You know, so you're like on another level.
All right, do you subscribe to all that stuff? Like I guess the idea of like your chakras and.
No, I haven't. I haven't learned about it. I don't know what the chakras mean, what they're supposed to do. I hear about it in yoga, and I try to
focus.
I try to believe in it and like really focus in it and like see what it can do to me, like to think about that stuff. I just haven't like fully delved into it, so I can't say yes or no.
Once you master all of them, you're technically a fucking Super Saiyan. So.
I met a guy the other day. Well, I didn't meet him, but I saw on Facebook.
He just fucking flew and shit.
This dude who is a very talented chef. I'm not sure if you know what I'm referring to already, but there was a very explosive Facebook thread about white power and white privilege.
And this fucking sign or what?
Yeah, exactly that. And
Fuck everyone. I'm doing it. It doesn't mean shit.
No. Well, like, so the
It
thing
does
is
mean
that it was.
No, I know, but like, this doesn't mean shit.
Well, okay. So
It just means I hit a 3 and we're playing basketball. That's what that means. That's what that means to me.
Okay.
You fucking see James Harden doing this shit all the time.
The thing was that the guy who did all the shooting in New Zealand.
Good thing he took the picture. He had like
picture,
a,
he had
hey,
the
I
little-
got you. I'm gonna punch you
Yeah.
in the shoulder.
Oh.
Fucking
Yeah,
arm
he
now.
did that. So
Okay.
they were saying like, oh, that's a white power.
The
That's a
fuck?
white power sign. So it started
That's
this
so
like
ridiculous.
Facebook war,
Yeah.
and this one dude who
it was on Homeboy's post, right?
games.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
I saw it.
Yeah. So this guy, like, he's like all about like peace and love. And I'm not gonna name him, but he was like, yeah, man, fucking.
For some
Yeah,
reason,
fine.
let me hold on, real pause, real quick. For some reason, I automatically, I don't know why you said a real talented chef. For fucking some reason, I thought Guy Fieri. And then you were like, an explosive thing. I imagine like his fucking flame shirts and shit. I was like, why are you talking about Guy Fieri, dude? Anyways, I'm sorry, keep going.
You thought Guy Fieri was like a fucking like
I was about to be like, is this
he's a
motherfucker like
fucking
woke or
Grand
some shit?
Dragon or something. So Guy Fieri was talking about how white power exists. I mean, doesn't exist, and that it's a narrative that's been propagated by liberals and whatever. So this guy, he puts. At first he was like, no, brother, you need to open up your mind a little more, do some yoga and some meditation, and you need to learn to love yourself and the people around you and this and that. And then some dude, a girl commented saying, wow, a hypocritical hippie. Like, I hadn't seen that before. And
Nice.
it was great, dude. It was fucking
That's
great.
fucking
And
awesome.
She was like a hypocritical hippie. And then the guy goes, haha, you're a dumb bitch. MAGA 2020,
Oh my God.
grab you by the pussy.
Wait, the hippie said that?
he fucking commented that, and then he just dipped.
Wow.
And I was
Beast.
like, bro,
That's dope. That's something
are
I
you,
would
like,
do if I
it's
if
not,
I
like
like.
super woke or something. Like, I thought you were supposed to. And then the thing is, I went to his Facebook page, and
Yeah.
his Facebook page is literally all like diagrams of like chakras and like manifesting your inner energy
Yeah.
and like, you know, bringing it out to
Yeah.
the world. And I just thought it was like, what? You're over here talking about, you know, I don't know. And so that was just one of the things that I thought was funny as hell.
Gotta focus your chi, my gay.
Focus my chi.
Yeah.
So okay, sorry, we got off topic.
No, but
But
yeah.
that's
So you've
interesting.
never like you haven't taken a deep dive into that just yet.
No, I haven't. I'm not even certified in yoga. I teach it, but I'm not even certified yet.
How do you get certified in something like that?
You go to fucking India, bro.
That's one way.
Nah, I'm just playing.
Yeah. You just
it-
basically just go to an instructor who like has a teacher training. That's what they're called, and they're certified by the Yoga Alliance. That's what it's called. It sounds funny,
Is it
right?
an
The
alliance?
Yoga Alliance.
Fuck,
What?
dude.
It's the Yoga
Collective.
Alliance.
Yoga Alliance.
Yeah, I know.
Yoga
It's so cool.
Damn, it sounds like they'd roll up to your place and be like, "Hey, you broke the first rule of yoga. No supporting
yoga
Trump,"
bars.
and then they like revoke your license.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So did you hear that the Mueller's FBI investigation ended without any
What?
Trump, Russiagate, all of that?
Oh, I don't give a shit about that.
It ended. No evidence of anything. No one got indicted.
Fuck. I wish I could talk about it too, but I don't,
You can talk about it if you want.
no,
mean-
I don't know shit about it.
Oh, okay.
That's
I'm
that's
like,
what
I
there is to know.
don't look at news that much.
I've only recently been back into the news cycle. Not even so hardcore.
I have to
just
stay away
off
from that shit
secondhand.
because it's
Because
just like
new-
it's always just so like.
Well, news is fucked up.
No, I mean,
it's
it's
a
not-
fucking business.
It's just yeah, dude, whatever. Just Democrats are like, oh, Russia. Don't look at us fixing
Right,
the
yeah, and
election.
that actually I posted that like 2 years ago. Where I was like the first thing that came up was like, yeah, hey, basically what we're investigating is to see if Russia interfered with the election
That we rigged.
by no, if Russia interfered with the election by uncovering that we interfered with the election.
Yeah, and then that's pretty much the whole thing. And then 2 years later, now it ends and no one got indicted. No one's
Oh,
anything
man.
for anything. So
What a shit show.
fake news. That's basically that
It's
sums
money.
everything up. Yeah,
Do you
100%.
think Trump does yoga, dude?
Fucking, he eats yogurt.
He needs to.
He eats yogurt.
He eats yogurt.
Right. So
I'm like I'll be honest here for a second. I don't know how into like the idea of like chakras I'm in, you know, but there's definitely like a sort of like perhaps like a life force energy or something, you know, that is 100% in your body.
The whole like super string theory.
I don't know. I'm not too familiar with how that plays into that.
I want to sit back a little bit. Super string theory is a theory that like all life is interconnected, and you've mentioned this before a couple of times actually. That all life is interconnected because we all came from the same thing in terms of like matter, so the conservation of matter and all that kind of stuff, which you've mentioned before. And the idea is that we all share the same consciousness, and that it's been molded by our own personal experiences. But once you die and break down, your conscience kind of returns to the main line of it, and then you know, share it with someone else at some point. That's a whole like idea of like deja vu and soulmates and all that kind of stuff.
Soulmates.
Wow.
All that idea comes from that. I personally don't like give too much thought to it, but I will say this: I had this phase where I was very into rocks.
Wait, like rocks, not crystals, just like
crystals and rocks and minerals and all that shit.
Okay,
I have a
that's cool.
going through that.
I was into this because I had a friend of mine named Alex who was also very woke, and he once gave me.
Are you woke?
I don't know. I'm woke right now.
No.
I wanted to be asleep, but I'm woke. Oh look, Hector tuned in.
Hey,
Hector Hernandez. Yeah.
Hi, dude.
Hey Hector, we were just talking about you. A bunch of good stuff. Don't worry about it. You get tuned in.
Yeah, dude, I heard. Yeah, all of the positive.
So, we were talking about. He was telling me about how at the time I was very like I had a lot of issues with anxiety, and I still kind of do, but back then it was just so much worse. And so this guy was like, "Hey, you know what'll solve all your problems? This rock." And there was like. It was you know,
a fucking giant crack rock.
It was kind of you know, it wasn't a joke. He meant it, and I was at the time looking for whatever I could look for to help me.
Do you have a rock collection right now?
I could bring it down. I have one. I have not a giant rock collection, but there are a few like stones.
Where'd you get these rocks from?
Well, he gave me one, and then he took me to this. We had. A store here. It wasn't Earthbound before you say Earthbound. It wasn't Earthbound.
Fucking Earthbound.
It was a place
cool
that had
shit
like a bunch of like where they do like the what are they called Tamascal, the things where they like burn stuff and they do like they
rituals.
The rituals like it's
like a yerberia or some shit.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
So we went there and
shout out to yerberias, bro.
Dude, I got hit by them once.
What?
You got hit by them?
Yeah, like I went I went through this. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but like I went through this process where they were like hitting me with a stick.
With
it was like a part of the ritual or
no? It's because I had this like I guess traumatic event in my life where like I almost I didn't kill someone, but like I wasn't almost I could have killed someone. It was entirely my fault.
Just shot a guy, but he fucking lived.
I was driving a quad bike, and my friend got in it. She was like at the end of it, and I was like, "Nah, dude, like there's too many people here." But she's like, "Nah, I want to go." And she wasn't grabbing onto the fucking
fender or whatever.
Yeah, she was on her phone, and then I turned.
What the fuck?
I turned at a fast speed, so my bad. But she wasn't even hanging on. She just fell.
It's definitely her fault.
I mean, she had like a coágulo. I don't know what that is in English, but. Like a thing in her brain, like she forgot who her mom was. She was like, "Who the fuck are you?" And yeah, it was like
blood clot aneurysm.
Yeah.
Something.
But anyways, after that, like my mom like got this like person to like hit me with a stick, like or not stick, but like with
like a whole thing and shit, you know?
Yeah.
Fucking
that
sage smoke and
exactly.
All this shit. Cool dancing.
I don't
named Kyle Kinane who has the whole thing about sage. He's like, recently I've been trying sage out and. He just does that on stage. He's like, as far as I can tell, sage is like a spiritual Febreze. You do it doesn't really.
Hey, bro, I have some fucking sage incense. What's
Dude,
up?
when we did the whole Limpia here, we did it with like sage. That thing because I
fuck with incense, bro. I'm down.
Oh hell yeah,
I have
so
incense
good
too.
So
yeah.
good.
So my rocks, I had these rocks, And
you can't just grab one from the outside and like
you
make that your rock.
You can
Do you
absolutely.
think
do it with
you
anything.
put the energy into the rock, or
No,
the energy
so
gives you the energy?
The idea is that different rocks, different
Do different
minerals
shit.
have different vibrations in them.
Which is true technically.
Yeah, technically
Right.
is true, right? Because
Right.
they're like compressed differently.
Oh, shit.
They have that kind of stuff.
Whoops, sorry guys.
What?
I accidentally set up a random camera angle.
Oh, nice. Did
yeah,
you? Oh,
I
okay.
already fixed it. I'm sorry.
So we had talked about it for a good while, and then it was like, oh yeah, you see
there it is. Yeah.
oh yeah, so there was like he gave me some of them, and you were like, this one has a specific vibration that's meant to help you heal better. So if you feel like you've got any sort of decay or anything like that going on, this is going to help you heal from that faster. And all my anxiety told me from that was like, what do I have, bro? Like, why are you saying that I need this? He's like, I know that the universe is telling me that you need this rock right
Who
now.
the fuck was
And
this
I was
guy?
like, do I have cancer? Like what's happening? And
How old
then
were
he
you?
was- I was like, it was literally like 2 years ago. I was 24. It wasn't that. I went through it. I'm telling you, anxiety does some fucking weird shit to you.
Yeah, I
That
believe
to
you.
the point where I was starting to praise rocks. So but it was
I'm sorry if like someone believes in that. I just laughed.
no,
at you
no,
too. I'm sorry.
some people will believe it to the core, and maybe it works for them. That's cool, man.
Hell yeah.
But for me,
Create
I'm
your
gonna be
reality.
honest. There was one time it was fucking weird. We were in San Antonio. My friend's there with me, and he's decked out in crystals, dude. Fucking,
Fucking-
he has one there, and then he carries like a little pouch with him with more crystals in them. And there was one time where he was like, we were all sitting down, we were drinking on the Riverwalk. It was Halloween. It was a good fucking time. And then he's just like, yo, we gotta go. And I was like, the fuck, dude? Why? And
So cool.
And then he's like, he takes off this thing, and he's like, fuck, and he sets it down. And then he just starts looking around. And then I'm like, what's up, dude? And he goes, feel that for me real quick.
Oh my god.
And so I touched the crystal.
Yeah.
It was hot, dude. Super hot. Like if you had
Whoa.
just held it up to a fire. And
Wow.
and I was just like, what the fuck, dude? And then
Oh my
he's like, this one is meant to ward off like negative energy and spirits. And when it gets hot like that, that means that it's warning you.
Yeah.
So we took off, dude.
Did something happen that night?
Well, so the next day
There was a mass shooting at the Riverwalk.
no, the next
I'm always scared of that shit.
the next day one of our friends told us, and then this is like a completely different thing. I made it maybe not have like correlated with anything, but it was a weird occurrence. So let's say like Josh and I go and we hang out, but we had plans to hang out with you here in town, right? But we decided on a whim to go and check this thing out, whatever, at San Antonio. Then you tell us the next day, guys, this shit happened at my place or whatever, and some stuff went down. Somebody got incarcerated, another person got very badly injured, and then that's that. And I'm not gonna go into details, but like nothing happened the night that we were there, but his explanation to it was like it sensed it. It sensed maybe that we were supposed to be in another area at the time that we were like whatever, but it was just it was a weird little occurrence.
Trippy shit, my guy.
And so
That's cool.
he'll have this like little ritual that he'll do where like when he goes to sleep or whatever he's doing, he'll take out these rocks from his pouch and he puts them on the windowsill because moonlight recharges them or something like that. And then so he'll like gather them up in the morning and then we're good to go.
I need to hang with this dude.
It was he moved to Colorado.
Mm.
Do I know this person? No,
I don't think so.
No. Okay.
His name's Alex. We used to call him Gaylex because he's gay, and he was okay with that.
The only gay Alex I know is
super weird.
Buttons.
But he was
So Buttons.
but yeah. So he gave me like a bunch of different rocks that were meant
Nice.
for different things, and at the time I was like very into it.
Yeah.
And
You should stop rocking him, my guy.
I'll be honest. I still kind of like I have one in my car for protection.
Hey,
And I have another one. I have the other ones in my room, and occasionally, just when I feel like some shit's going
There's
down
no
or
shame in
whatever,
that.
I'll go and I'll put them up on the windowsill,
Nice.
and then that's that.
Have they ever warned you?
I've
have they ever gotten hot on you, bro?
I've never felt any of them get hot, but I will say there was this one time, and this was very weird. But during my dad's deportation, right, when we were all going through this kind of stuff, I had a rock. It was a crystal. I had a crystal that that was with me. I was meant to help like ward off like all of them have that fucking I guess property or whatever. Well, this one was meant to
You're like a fucking Dungeons and Dragons character, bro.
yeah, right. So this one was meant to specifically help you regain strength during times of turmoil. And inexplicably, it was a fucking solid thing, dude. When the deportation thing was happening, I was like in my head about it, and I was just like whatever. And I took it with me when I was like gonna go pick up my dad from Mexico and drive him to the place he needed to go. He had just gotten deported, and I was gonna meet my family over there. And I had the thing in my pocket, and I took it out while I was still here at home. I took it out to put it in my car, and when I did that, it literally just and it like shattered, and it turned into like a bunch of individual pieces, and I was just like, and so I just put it there or whatever, and I texted my friend, and I was like, "Yo, dude, this thing just broke on me. Am I fucked or what?" And then he's like, "No, man. That might be it telling you that it's time for you to give that to other people who might need them." I said, "Fuck. What's the coincidence that like this is also happening by the time that everybody in my family is going through some hardship because
Did you give them out?
My dad's absolutely. I gave one to my mom, gave one to my dad, gave one to my family.
You should like eat your stones, dude.
And,
you know, they're being you all the time.
No, that's not how it works. Because then you like poop it.
That's true.
So yeah,
embed them into your skin.
So embedded in my skull. So yeah, man. That again.
That's pretty crazy. That's
That's
pretty
crazy.
fucking crazy.
It was a rock. A rock just like shattered in front of you.
Yeah. It was like a very
happen?
hard crystal, and it wasn't like anything bad or anything that it was like if I was like holding this lighter and I was like just handing it to you, and just all of a sudden just split into two. I was just like, oh shit, you know,
God,
it was weird. So that's the only like occurrence.
I didn't know you were a rock guy, dude.
Dude, you know what? Like some of my friends gave me some shit about it for a while because I was actually like really into it and I would read up to it. And
did you wear like the necklace with one of them?
No. I never did any of that. I never carried.
I've always wanted to rock one, but
I want to believe in it.
I also had the superstition at the time because like I heard it from like different people, but I didn't let anybody else touch them.
Like, I would
show
like, hey, you can look at it, look, don't touch.
Nice, and then be like, and I'm like, fuck off, my rock. You know, like,
how come?
Chill out, because
like,
they could.
According to my friend, is that like when you pass on the rock, it's gonna attune itself to them. Their vibrations and themselves, and if you happen to let anybody else, just even momentarily, unless you'll let someone
quick science into all of this craziness. So the base material that creates everything that is matter, atoms, have specific vibrational frequencies at which they vibrate all the fucking time. So there you go. A little bit of science just to talk about this craziness. Anyways.
Right, yeah. So they the idea is that you don't hand it over to anybody unless you're planning on giving it to them. Because if you give it to them and then it like attunes itself, whatever it might be, and you give it back, it might not work anymore, or it might actually.
You broke my fucking rock, dude.
Dude, my fucking rock, dude. Where's
my
receipt for this rock? You know what? You're right. There is a bit here. Yeah, that's good. So
how do you get these rocks? Like, where do you get them? Where they're they're legit. They're legit rocks and not just like outside.
You want to know what's funny?
What?
I had stopped thinking about them for a while until I went with Kiana to Kiana and her brother to San Antonio, and we went to Planet K, which is a smoke shop. And they have a whole fucking like table there, and they have little pamphlets and on what these different crystals and rocks are meant to do. And I found some of the ones that I had there like too, but they were fucking expensive. Like you would think I'd pay like $1 for a rock, maybe. Like but also I had never paid for any of them. I never went and actually bought any of them.
So they were like given to you, like
they were given to me, or one of the times I forged them. I got a petrified wood one that I found while I was out like hanging out with some friends, and we dug for them. So
that's pretty cool.
I was into it, dude. I'm telling you, I was into it.
You're fucking out there, dude.
So
dope.
Yeah, man. That's my story of rocks.
Nice. I want a rock now.
You want a rock now? I can bring them out, man. I'll bring them down.
You want to show them?
Sure. Yeah, I want to see them. I want to feel the energy.
I'll show you afterwards.
Yeah, you can show me afterwards.
On the thing. I don't want to step up from here because I think it's good conversation.
Yeah.
You should also get like like a vase, a clear one, fill it with water, and just throw some lemons in there, dude.
Why?
What?
For drinks?
No.
I don't
Talking
know.
about
You're
some
doing
detox
this thing
water?
with your eyebrows, like you're expecting me to know
You
what
guys
you're
have never
talking
seen that thing? Like
Just
people
detox
have them-
water?
No. Like people have like fucking containers of water with lemons in them in like certain areas of their house to like clear energy and shit. And these lemons will fucking turn black.
Black,
and
yeah.
shit.
Oh, yeah.
Nichols did that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I
Nichols,
told you
there you
about
go.
that.
Yeah.
Nichols-
Alyssa's also done shit like that, right? Her
I don't
lemons
know. I
are
haven't
black.
seen any lemons around the house.
Oh, never mind.
I'm sure if anything, she's
lemons
probably got
black.
them in the place, but
Her lemons black.
in her room or something. But I do know. I don't remember if it was Sarah or Kiana, which are both like ex roommates of mine. I don't remember which one of them owned rocks and they had or crystals, and they had like a shit ton of them. They had a whole bowl of them, and they were just there.
Dude, I wish we lived in those times where you could just have like a thing where like your crystal would hang off right here, and you're just like, this is
Yeah.
normal.
You,
know what
could,
I mean?
but I mean that's it's a
That is a
culture
thing,
It's
no?
a cultural thing.
I
Yeah,
don't know. I mean,
like maybe not here.
Oh,
like
people
if I like, but if I fucking pulled up on you like you're at Cultura, like, hey, what's up, dude? And I just fucking had a you
They're like, hey man, you going through some shit, huh?
you know, just say what's up, man.
I want
Out here.
one.
I can't imagine you with a rock struck from your forehead, dude.
Just like a nice like
But
golden
you know what? I
fucking
wouldn't make
tiara
fun of
thing.
you, dude. I
What-
wouldn't make fun of you. I'd be like, yeah, you know what?
You'd have to tell me something.
I
You
hope
can't
it
just let
works out for you.
motherfucker pull up with a rock between his forehead,
You
his
say you
fucking
get a
eyes and
forehead
shit.
injury.
Would
Did-
people
did
see
you-
that as like cultural appropriation or some shit?
Oh, true.
Fuck you. We're all humans.
I know,
We all live
right?
in the world.
Yeah, you know what? That's true. Cultural appropriation, man. You can't just do that. Just get rocks.
Why not? It's just a fucking rock and a little string in your head.
For you. But for them, what if
Yeah,
it
but,
signifies
like-
like family and their culture and their
Okay,
upbringing?
well that's for you.
Yeah, no,
What if
I
we all
personally
just,
don't
like-
believe in that whole thing either. So I'm just trying to
You're playing devil.
pull your chain.
Yeah.
Yank it chain. I don't know, man. Superstitious shit is weird, especially like
Yeah.
there's a lot of it here.
So you don't have any sort of superstitions like with any of that kind of stuff. Like so I know you're very into clean living.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
Tell us
yeah,
about
like
that.
I see like it's starting to sound a lot more like I like stalk your Instagram, but that's not the case.
No.
I just like I see
I stalk your Instagram,
but I
casually.
totally do, but I don't. But I've seen like you prepare some fucking awesome looking meals.
Oh, yeah, I haven't done it in a while.
Constantly doing yoga, very
Yeah.
very conscious of like your surroundings and taking days off for yourself. And you've even done things where you'll say like, oh, I'm gonna completely like black out like my social
completely
media
black
stuff
out. Just a
and
bottle of tequila.
not
Oh yeah, I haven't followed everyone
not
at
be
some
online
point.
for a while.
Just,
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's toxic.
Just off the grid.
How do you feel about that? What drives that sort of mentality? Like, is that also part of like your personal experience, and does any of that maybe bleed into your art or photography creative process?
I guess it's not that I don't want to be influenced by anyone, but I don't. You know how like there's obviously like negative things that come with social media, of like you just seeing everyone. Like I think my human nature like just tells me like, or like just shows me like in the back of my head I'm like comparing myself and like seeing all these people, and I feel like I'm missing out, and like all that normal shit that we'll hear about, like people like having struggles with social media. And so I just there's this thing that I have on my Instagram, which is like in my bio, it says, how real am I? Because I don't feel like not anyone, but like most people aren't real on Instagram. Like that's not their actual person. That's just like what they're trying to portray on Instagram. Or if they're honest, like you still don't know the full story of like who they are, right? And I don't know. Lately, I've been like trying to like not be on Instagram, or if I am, I'm just there to post, like to share my stuff. Not there to like or message people. But I kind of hate going into it because it becomes a habit of like just my finger just wants to do it, just clicks on the app and like just starts scrolling, and I don't really care for like, in a good way, I don't really care for what people what others are doing, because I just want to like at this moment in my life, like I just want to stay like super locked into like what I'm doing, like learning about myself, like where I want to go and like things like that. And so in Instagram it's like you're just being like
It's feeding
Bombarded. Like,
yeah,
boom, boom,
bombarded
boom,
with like
boom.
a bunch of shit of like, oh, this person's doing that, this person's doing this. I'm like,
You
I don't
just
really
fucking
care.
endlessly scroll.
It's
Just-
Yeah.
funny that you mentioned that, because like I mean, going back to the episode that we had with Diego was very much the opposite.
Mm.
It was like a lot of the stuff that I do, like I feel like I source it from people that are like currently big in contemporary art, and I get inspired
For sure
from it.
too.
So, like,
I follow a lot. I try to mute people. So like I follow people because I want to stay in touch with them, or I want to know who they are, like what they're doing too. But I mute a lot of people. Like I followed everyone, and then I followed them back. But then now I'm like muting people because I just want to see the work that like truly like can affect me and like change like or like inspire me to do something else with my work. So there's like a lot of that. Like I don't get a lot like so much inspiration from Instagram, but I there's like photographers that I do like. So it's really good for that. Like for sure. Like even for connecting with people. Like the only reason because why I even met Enmi and got to go to New York with her was because I messaged her through social media. You know, it's like super super good tool. Like I love it. But it can at times it can also be not very useful.
It could be detrimental.
Yeah.
No, I get that. I don't have a TV in my room for the same reason.
Me too.
I think we're getting close to wrapping. So there is a party at Cultura right now.
Oh,
shit! It's already 10. Fucking.
It's already 10.
Yeah.
It's
crazy.
Yeah.
10:10. We've been going for about an hour 45, hour 35.
Hour and 35.
Nice. I want to say thank you for having me
no.
here.
On the contrary, thank you for coming on and talking so much and being so open about that kind of stuff with us. Because I mean, it was I personally wanted to have you on just simply because I know you, and going from I don't want to say like I know you, but we had like some shared experiences, and then like to see the growth of a person, especially creatively, is always a really cool, very inspiring thing. And I'm really it's fucking awesome that you have like that exhibit at Cultura, and I think
go look at it.
What's your okay, I don't want to ask this. This is such a cheesy question to ask, but like, what's next? You know, like what are you currently planning, working on? What would you like people to know? People who are listening.
I don't know. I have so many questions for myself. They're like
questions for yourself?
Yeah. Like I'm trying to figure out like what I want. Like I'm still constantly like trying to figure out like what I want. Like I don't think I'm ever, or at least like recently, like or like up to now, like I don't think I've ever settled on like something specifically, whether it be photography or something else. And so what's next? I mean, right now, I told myself that I was gonna take a break because I've had like these like super busy like 2-3 months, and I was like, okay, I need a break. Like I need like a month break to like just like look at life and just like have conversations with people, because I've gotten to a point where I get bitter sometimes when I'm around people, or I'm like, oh, I can only be with you for like this amount of time, where like everything's timed, and I just feel like I need a break from to like just think or like just be. But I'm already like getting ideas for like other shoots. So I don't know how long that break is actually gonna be, but for now I think this is what I've been like doing for like the past like year or so, like, and this is like the where I'm like super happy in, like just focusing, like locking in on like putting my head down and just like learning. Like I want to I don't know, there's like so many books, so many things that I want to learn, even like with photography or with yoga and like everything. So I think what's next for me is just keep doing the same thing, or like putting my head down and just like doing me, just like really learning, not really looking around that much, or not too much.
Yeah, I respect that.
Yeah.
There you guys have it.
That's the word from Monserat Guajardo. You can catch her on Instagram at Monserat Guajardo.
Yeah, that's where I'll be putting my work. So I'll be sharing the photos that I have in the exhibit. Like, I already shared. Yeah, I already shared one today. So I'll be sharing them periodically. And I also have I put a video on YouTube today. It's like a behind the scenes of the photo shoot that I did with Stacy. My friend Charlie did the video for me. He hooked it up. Thank you so much if you're watching. He's really nice. And yeah, it's up on YouTube. I don't know if I'll be doing like things on YouTube. That's just there for now. But yeah, I don't know what else.
There you guys have it. Roger's doing comedy all over the motherfucking United States.
Oh yeah, dude. You're in Alaska?
New York,
United States,
Pennsylvania, Hawaii,
dude.
fucking everywhere, dude. California.
You're doing one here?
I
Laredo?
will be at the Por Vida Tattoo Fest
When's that?
on April 5th. That's in 2
Cool.
weeks on Friday. And it will. I'm going to be doing the after party at Paravicios, and I will be with Tori Poole and Larry Garza. They're really funny comedians from San Antonio. And I'm really excited to be on that show. Next week, I'm going to be in McAllen, Texas at Cine El Rey on Wednesday, opening for Jade Esteban Estrada. And you know what? The week of the Por Vida show, I'll be with the boys TM. It's Aaron and Francisco.
Totally manly.
We'll be at New Braunfels at the Silver Spoon on April 2nd. I think that's a Tuesday. So, yeah. But
Cool,
more
man,
importantly,
congrats.
go check out the exhibit up
At
until
Culture.
April 15th. That's the second floor of Cultura Beer Garden. That's Monserat Guajardo's work. You can find her on Instagram.
I'm really
And
proud of
hey,
it.
you ever gonna do are you ever like interested in doing like an artist talk, just like similar to what Diego did? I'm sure you could set something up like that. But I mean,
Yeah.
I think that's a really cool it's a really cool practice because it shows a lot of about like what I think is like the very important educational side
Yeah.
of it for people
Oh,
who don't necessarily have like,
yeah.
the language and stuff. So.
Yeah, and can I say one more thing?
Absolutely.
Or two more
Go
things?
for it.
Like,
Go for it.
the other reason, apart from being selfish, why I wanted to do the exhibition is because, well, there was a lot of it, like a lot through the process where I was like, shit, maybe I shouldn't do it because it's like an expense that I'm not expecting to make any money out of it, really. It was like so much work into it, but I was like, nah, like I wanna, because like I said, I haven't seen work like that in Laredo, like an actual exhibit, right? So I kind of wanted to show people, or like anyone who was like me, like 2 years ago, who like wanted to see like someone in Laredo doing that. Like I wanted that person to like be able to see that. So I did it for like whoever like would wanna or like is missing that in them, like to actually see it and be there. So maybe the artist talk would be cool for anyone who's like
I'd be there. I'm sure a lot of people would have a lot of interest in that as well.
yeah, anyone who wants to learn about all that, because when I was starting out, like I was really confused about like what I wanted to do with it, because I was kind of veering off into like maybe non-conventional photography. I mean, I don't know, in my opinion, I guess. And so I've left like for other people who wants to like learn more about that to like maybe have that. So I don't know. Maybe I'd be interested in doing that. I
think you should up. I think it would be a cool little way to wrap it up, if anything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And also, if anyone has any questions, you can definitely DM me. I'm very open to
Slide
having
in the
conversations.
DMs.
Yeah. I love creating conversations with people. Like, maybe not.
Maybe not slide into my DMs, but
No. You can talk to me in my DMs. I'm better through text than like in person. I think
okay.
like my thoughts get convoluted a lot, like in like right now.
Easily.
I don't think
Yeah.
so. I think you did a very
Really?
good job.
I was like
Yeah.
so nervous, guys.
Yeah, I know. It's totally I think you did a very good job. I enjoyed the talk.
Yeah, me too.
Same.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and keep us posted about any other work that you've got coming out at any point. I mean, it'd be cool to like have like later on down the road your next exhibit or whatever you might
Yeah.
end up doing.
Yeah.
Would be cool to hear.
Reach out. We'll put you back on, and we'll be like, check this out.
Aw.
Anyways, everyone that's watching, you're gonna hear one song, but everyone that's gonna be listening through your podcast app or whatever the fuck, it's gonna be an exclusive song for
You
y'all.
missed out.
So, the song for everyone watching is gonna be Interstellar, and the one that is gonna be on the audio version is gonna be different. So I won't even tell you who it is. It's an exclusive.